Hey everybody, welcome back to the Onimusha commentary. We get our first of two Kaede segments of the game.
Technically, it's the second segment because you did this slide puzzle for earlier.
Y'all hear something?
No, you didn't.
Must be one of those virgin anime convention goers. Make for
I'll
ripe
have you know, I
sacrifices.
never watch anime.
Yeah.
No, you watch anime. You watch Azumanga
I watched. I actually have not finished watching it. I've only ever read the book all the way through.
Anyway, Kaede is actually quite fun to play as. She's very nimble.
Until you realize she can't absorb souls, so there's literally no point in fighting enemies with
Yep.
her. You just gotta avoid everything you can. Not at the same time. This isn't a Sherry in Resident Evil 2 scenario where she's completely helpless. No, she can more than hold her own again, but you don't get anything from killing enemies, so there's literally no point in fighting them. So you're better just outmaneuvering them, or maybe knocking them on the ground if they're in the way, which is easier for the smaller fry. But it gets a little more tricky when you're talking about the bigger dudes in very narrow corridors. However, Kaede does have a means of attacks. That cool as fuck attack right there that I just did is probably the best thing you can do. It's a little awkward to pull off. I think you have to hold down the shoulder button, then the attack, and hold towards the enemy while they're attacking. It's basically her Isin. I think it's the closest equivalent to her Isin, but she does like a whole fucking somersault over the enemy, then slices their throat, instant kill. It's awesome. I'm never doing it again though, because there's no point in doing it.
Oh man, apart from just having fun fighting as her, but whatever. I guess you have a point. This is like the most Resident Evil section in the game because you don't get rewards for the enemies you kill.
Absolutely not. It is very much a shame because she is very fun to control. I think she's like 1.5 times faster than Samanosuke on the ground.
It kind of makes me wish that we had like a mercenaries mode in Onimusha where you had like a dedicated.
No, we do, but you just make a whole bunch of pots.
Where like where like you could just control whatever character you want out of a list of playable characters and go through a battle mode. But
yeah, because like she's not as strong as Samanosuke, but fuck it, man. Does strength really matter if she's just way more agile? Because it's not even just the faster running speed. Like she's got a serious set of acrobatics too. Like, so in the game, you can use the shoulder buttons to either like guard and attack. You can also hit like the right shoulder button to face the closest enemy towards you. I wouldn't call it a lock on, but that's why I always classify it as, because you're not always steadying on that enemy. You're just using it to face the closest enemy close to you. I know I love how arrow enemies can like snipe other arrow enemies. But when you got the shoulder button held down with Kaede, her strafes and her backwards maneuvers are just straight up flips and all that, and they are very fast.
yeah,
It's really makes it really easy to dodge certain enemy attacks, assuming you're not doing it in a very narrow hallway because she doesn't get invincibility frames doing it. That sort of thing. Again, I would have loved if she had her own ability to absorb souls, because that would justify, attacking and everything with her, but that's not the case. So again, what's the point? But her gameplay segments are very, very linear. Like Resident Evil to a point where you're just ignoring shit, and you have to get certain keys to open certain doors, but you are collecting items that you can give to Samanosuke later. She can't use anything herself. She can't extend her own health with power jewels. Obviously, magic jewels don't mean anything to her. So we're just going to have her get a few key items to open up certain doors so that she can rendezvous with Samanosuke later.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it, sadly. She also has a really fucking kick-ass theme, which you can't hear in the HD re-release. So play the original if you can.
Man, I should bust out my copy of Genma Onimusha sometime soon and play that. But you know what? While I'm on the subject of playing Resident Evil clones, I should probably actually finish Dino Crisis. That would probably be a better use of my time right now.
So, what distinguishes Dino Crisis other than dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs.
It is, I would actually say it's a harsher survival horror game than Resident Evil, which makes the sequel being all arcadey action kind of ironic, really. But, like...
Yeah, the series loses identity when you got a giant robot dinosaur chasing you down the hallway.
Like, you get injured by a raptor and then you start bleeding, right? So you're bleeding and you have gradual health drain and you're leaving a trail of blood, which dinosaurs will follow, I think. And you need to find an item to patch up the bleeds. It's a Resident Evil game, so resources are limited, naturally. So an injury can seriously screw you up in Dino Crisis.
And there are dinosaurs.
Well, yeah. I mean, your standard... you don't have a standard zombie in Dino Crisis. What you have are velociraptors, and you know what velociraptors are like. It's like if Resident Evil was like, okay, we're just gonna skip zombies entirely and give you the hunters from the word go. Wait, that's basically the Lycans in Village, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Also, is it wrong that every time I hear Velociraptor now, like I know Jurassic Park is the easy pull, but I immediately think of Jurassic Park 3 with the dream sequence. That was cool. I want to go back to that dream.
At one time, when Jurassic Park couldn't decide whether or not to stick to the scales or move on to feathers, so it just sort of came out with an awkward in between, and we got the Quill Raptors.
Yeah, no, it's more like dinosaurs that got feathered and tarred, or tarred and feathered, I should say.
Ah, man. Well,
well, fuck that demon.
in any case, what sets Dino Crisis apart from Resident Evil is that it ironically leans a lot harder into survival horror than Resident Evil had at that point.
Well, I mean, granted, comparatively speaking, what do you find more terrifying, the zombie or the dinosaur?
The fucking dinosaur, man. And it's not because it's scary, like, visually. It's because what it can do in the game is, like, I dread running into a velociraptor in that goddamn game. And generally the ways the game gives you to respond to that are very, like, evasive. Like, you're going to be using your environment to try and get away from them rather than fighting them. If you can.
It's, a dinosaur would actually be really freaking scary in real life. It's just one of those things where pop culture has kind of, I don't want to say memed them, because that's not really the right word, but like we've kind of grown up with, dinosaurs are so cool, and dinosaurs, I love dinosaurs, but like in a real situation, like a dinosaur would be freaking terrifying to actually like be near.
There is that, but there's also the fact that Dino Crisis is hokey as shit, both visually and conceptually. Like, it's got the terrible PS1 FMVs, and those don't do the dinosaurs any favors as horror monsters. But then there's also the protagonist being Regina, super agent in a tight leather suit, Regina, who sees a bisected corpse on the ground and casually says, well, that's disgusting, and that's her first reaction to the horror in the game. So you kind of like the game's tone is not really in line with the gameplay, and that's probably why they just went straight action for the sequel. Because like Dino Crisis is a great game, but my god, some of the stuff in it just does not work. Oh no.
Is that Guildenstern?
Yes.
You leave the princess's liver alone, you bastard. Oh no.
Oh, hello. All right. So this is an introduction to
I
this game.
love invisible enemies in fixed camera games. This isn't giving me Devil May Cry 2 flashbacks at all. Okay, I've probably told this story before on this channel, but I'll tell it again. In Devil May Cry 2, I actually almost 100%ed the game, but then I got to Lucia's Must Die mode and fought the invisible fish boss. And you know what I found?
Fish?
Do you guys remember the story?
I don't.
On Must Die mode, the invisible fish boss never becomes visible, which means you can't lock onto it.
I do recall this story now. That's right.
Which means you can't lock onto it, which means fighting it is literally a crapshoot. And at that point, I just decided life's too short, you know?
Okay, is this just me being perverted, or because it looked like she was trying to cop a feel on
No,
herself?
she's just recovering from.
That's just you being perverted, Ted.
Okay, that's fair. Meanwhile, while Samanosuke's drunk,
The old cliche where you're unconscious and you get woken up by a conveniently placed ceiling
Wait, can
drip.
your gauntlet blink?
Yeah, your gauntlet's alive.
That's
It's built in pager.
okay. I don't like
It
that
never
it
talks,
blinks.
though.
Oh god. I don't like
It's
that.
it's like the Resident Evil thing where all the monsters have eyeballs on their arms, except this time you are the monster.
Yeah.
I don't want to have a giant weakness on my arm. No, thank you. Like, no thanks. I don't want a giant weak point on my arm. I don't want to take an extra, 6 damage whenever I get hit by that stupid thing.
Well, if it was Resident Evil, it'd be a weak point, but it's a good thing that the Oni Gauntlet is alive in this game. We'll see why later. Oh yeah, I forgot this is entirely a thing. If you inject enough souls, your Oni Gauntlet levels up. And I want to say the only thing that changes, well, besides the appearance of it, is that it absorbs souls faster. I think I never understood the point of the Oni Gauntlet leveling up, though. Besides, cosmetic appearance. I guess, granted, it could be more than enough reason for some.
Huh. So, has it leveled
I wonder
up?
if I'm ever going to use all 50,000 blocks.
Probably not.
So, has it leveled up, or was that just a tutorial message?
No, it has leveled up.
Oh, okay.
After you reach a certain soul threshold, it will level up.
Oh, but not like souls you've actually injected into it, just souls
No,
collected.
it levels up just by absorbing souls into it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so it will level up automatically. My own clone.
Oh, here we go. I have no idea how Kaede mistook this guy for the real Samanosuke. He's not even dressed the same.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was already wearing the ninja outfit at this point. I guess it got dirty.
Even in the original game, you've upgraded your armor by this point, so it's like Kaede.
Feeling nostalgic? Do you miss your old sword? Anyway, so this boss battle is kind of a pain in the ass because this is the Samanosuke clone, which Genma later remake just makes a regular enemy. We'll see later.
If we're going by the voice acting of this game, you're not me.
Wait, we're gonna be fighting more of these in Genma?
In concept, they're similar. They're not Samanosuke clones, but they share the same move pool.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you'll see what I mean later.
He's using the regular katana though, so clearly he's superior.
Which means he's much better than I am. Also, I can't do that with the regular katana. Unless I can. Maybe I know. I honestly God don't know because I don't know. I don't use the normal katana after getting the first elemental sword. So maybe it can shoot projectiles, and I've just been ignorant to the fact the entire time.
It's the Legend of Zelda sword.
Yeah. Oh, but no, I've hit him a couple of times though, so he's cheating.
Oh no.
That's a bad time for that breeder to come back.
Oh.
You killed me.
I do
Oh my
like
God, is that
how
what I've been doing?
even though they don't focus in on his face, I don't think, but
No.
you can see his skin starting to rot away.
Yeah.
That's a cool attention to detail.
All right, I absorbed another Samanosuke. I should be an Onimusha at this point if we're going by Onimusha 3 logic. What? That's not until years later? Shut the fuck up.
If I absorbed myself, do I become Super Samanosuke? Double Samanosuke? Do I have the strength of 2 men?
I like how you've just been carrying around a ladder that's several times.
No, I just got it from that box.
The
But,
ladder was in the box.
It was in
Yes.
your inventory. It's bigger than 3 of you.
It's fine. So a quick little tidbit about that room that is entered. So in the first visit to that room, this is a few parts ago, there is a bucket that has a power jewel inside it, and you can nab that item as soon as you get inside the room the first time. If you do not, you can cut the rope from that bucket below that level right there where I just erected that ladder. If you wait until then, though, you'll not just get the power jewel, a Yami will also fucking drop from the bucket too.
What?
As a sort of punishment for waiting so long to get that power jewel.
Who?
The doll.
Oh boy.
What the hell am I watching?
So this is the maiden that's not really a maiden. She's actually a Genma.
This is what we call body horror, Ted.
Yeah. I'm actually also showing you the uncensored version because this was censored in the American release.
I can see why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, only one part was cut, and that was when she spreads her legs and the thing comes out of her cooch. Everything else is pretty much left intact.
Yeah, ratings and all.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is that still true in the HD version?
If you set the language to Japanese,
Wait,
you can watch the uncensored
You,
version.
you get a different FMV? Mm-hmm. Why would they buy...
I don't know.
So the lady that we found earlier is actually a demon bug.
They could have just dubbed over the... Oh, for fuck's sake.
All right, so in this scene, a bulbous sack is coming right out of your cooch. Excuse me? I'm gonna need you to scream into the mic.
Okay, so, like...
We have to destroy that stone.
I like how she actually tried to use a dinky little throwing knife.
Yeah, no. Make an attempt, Samanosuke. I'm not using these kunais for anything else.
It is interesting that she has that option. I don't think you can actually use it in gameplay.
No, you can. You can throw kunais with her.
Oh, they're
Again,
her ranged
there's no
weapon?
point.
Okay.
Yeah, those are her ranged weapon. Again, but there's no point.
Oh, for the love of God. What even are you?
All right. Well, he's talking to us finally, so we're going to be spending the rest of this part inside the first Dark Realm, because Genma has 3 of these sons of bitches.
3.
Compared to the original, which only had 1.
Oh.
Yeah, so the Dark Realm, as I was getting into earlier in the commentary, is a 10-floor... Well, okay, what version of Dark Realm you go into is different, but in essence, it's basically a gauntlet of Genma encounters. They're great for soul grinding, especially at this point in time, because if you recall during the Kaede section, there was a level 3 fire door that we obviously can't access as Kaede from at all, but it also tells you, hey, it's Samanosuke, you better make sure your Enryu is at level 3 before you get here. And thankfully, this is when they introduced the first Dark Realm for us, so soul grinding at this point becomes a little easier because you can keep coming back to this place if you want to.
Wait, if you leave him and, like, don't talk to him, will he actually not let you go?
He'll leave the room. You just have to leave and enter the room again for him to respawn.
Yeah, but he said, oh, if you don't come back again, I won't let you go. Like, is that...
No, it's more like, if you die, don't come back to haunt me.
Okay, I thought I read it as, oh, like, if you, like, say no to me again, I'm not going to take you there.
Yeah, no, he says that all the time.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't really mean it. He's lonely.
Okay, this pre-rendered background is creepy.
Yeah. I mean, when Onimusha occasionally does the pre-rendered like background for environments and all that, it actually looks really cool. I think Onimusha 2 does it the best, though.
Yeah.
Because that game has some gorgeous fucking pre-rendered backgrounds. Especially near the outdoor areas of one of the castle areas. I'm drawing a blank. It's been a while since I played Onimusha 2.
But there's seriously 3 of these in Genma.
Yes, there are 3 of these in Genma, and this is the first one. This is an exclusive to Genma Dark Realm, because this is only 10 floors, as opposed to the PS2 original, which was 20.
Oh.
But that one is also in this game, but you can't get to later, because it's in a different location. And there's also the Ogre Tower, which I will talk about later.
But you're not doing
talk about later.
You're not doing
No, I'm
it?
doing it, but I'm not showing you all of it, because Ogre Tower is 30 floors.
Oh.
And you don't need to see all of that.
Yeah,
But I think it's 25 or 30 floors, one of those two.
I concur.
But yeah, so as I was saying, it's just a gauntlet of Genma encounters, good for soul grinding. You're gonna need those souls as much as possible. I mean, not just for the sake of unlocking doors, obviously. You're gonna make your weapon stronger and make the game easier as you go along. So it's good to come to these. And thankfully, the Dark Realm, I would say, despite there being more of it in Genma, they're easier than the PS2 original because of the green souls. You know, they're dropping all the damn time. And you have basically, invincibility and health restore in Genma pretty much whenever you want, as long as you have the souls required for it. In the original PS2 game, all you had were those herbs. Or if you had enough souls, you can convert those orbs into medicines, which are full heals basically, but you only had so many of those. So if you fucked up too many times, you were likely reloading your save file, just so that you weren't spending so many fucking resources in this place.
Does each...
Because these areas they're not mandatory, they are optional. But you want to do them because you're just making yourself better for it. What were you saying?
Does each weapon have its own magic meter?
Yes,
Okay.
they do. And it's a viable strategy, especially for a larger Genma encounter, to just spend all of your elemental mana on like one weapon at a time. And if you're lucky, you'll get white soul drops from them, which restores your mana.
Okay.
and that's more weapons. And the good thing about White Souls is that they're dispersed evenly between all 3 weapons. So you're not just getting mana back for your Fire Sword, you're also getting it back for your Thunder and Wind Sword too. You know, it's not just the current weapon you have equipped.
When you run into a particularly difficult encounter, you can just go one weapon at a time. Just burn all your magic one after another.
Yeah. You want to save the Enryu, the Fire Sword, and the Wind Elemental attacks for a large group of enemies, though, because Ryzen only attacks one enemy at a time. I think the final attack, the Thunderbolt, will hit multiple Genma if they're close by. It's still very narrow, though.
Mm-hmm.
And the Enryu's line of attack is basically a straight line. So everything in front or behind the Genma that you're attacking will get incinerated as well, but again, it's a little narrow, but it's easier to hit with than Ryzen. Again, the Shippu does not care. It's just a tornado. The Shippu is probably going to be your favorite weapon for the Dark Realm, because this place isn't exactly narrow, but they throw a lot of encounters at you, especially as you get towards the tail end of this place. These dudes especially are kind of all over the place, and you fight like at least 3 at once.
Now, do all the Onimusha games have the Resident Evil camera system, or do later ones?
All 3 goes full 3D, like Code Veronica.
Okay,
Yeah.
is it better
So-
like that? Or?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. It is much better like that.
Okay.
I mean, I think the pre-rendered backgrounds for this, and again, as I was saying, Onimusha 2 was beautiful looking, but in terms of gameplay, if we're just going for pure action sword play, Onimusha 3 does it the best because of the 3D environments.
Onimusha 3 also also had an option, I think, to not play with tank controls.
Yes, it was. I don't know if there was tank controls in that one.
I think they did exist, but I'm pretty sure it was an option. I don't even think it was the default. They might have gone like Fatal Frame did and just had the tank controls in as an option for those who were used to it, but designed the game around the regular controls.
Yeah, Onimusha 3 got rid of the pre-rendered entirely. Dawn of Dreams would follow suit because that game was also fully 3D.
Ah, yes, Dawn of Dreams.
Dawn of Dreams is one I've been meaning to go back to for the longest time because I bought that at launch because of course I did, but I also only played it once, and that was back when it was released.
I remember trying to play Dawn of Dreams 2, and I remember it not leaving much of an impression on me.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same boat.
What system was that for?
PS2.
PS2? Okay, what was different
Yeah.
about it?
It was behind the back for one thing, kind of trying to go.
For the most part, I mean, I think it didn't. I don't think the camera variety was as vast as Onimusha 3. So yeah, maybe that's part of the reason. It was also different protagonists. It was Soki, who I believe was related to Hideyoshi Otomi, the bad guy from this game. Well, the little monkey dude.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while. I know Samanosuke is in that game as a completely different character. Because the cool thing about being chosen as the next Onimusha is that you get to live a lot longer life. Because I think by Onimusha 3, he's supposed to be in his 50s. And he looks just as young here as he does now. So,
Yes.
and then by the time you meet him in Dawn of Dreams, he's got white hair, but he still looks pretty youthful.
It feels like they were trying to set up a larger universe the way they did in Resident Evil, but they didn't quite have time to do that before the series sort of fizzled.
Petered out.
Yeah.
They did kind of bring back some stuff, but I think it was like a mobile or a like online game where, because I remember there was an Onimusha thing where they had a crossover kind of thing going on. So there were like images of like Maya Fey and Francisca from Ace Attorney in classic Japanese outfits, and some other Capcom characters too.
But before that, even Onimusha did branch out into different genres, is the way of putting it, because between Onimusha 2 and 3, there was Onimusha Blade Warriors, which was Onimusha Smash Brothers, basically, to put it very simply. There was also Onimusha Tactics or something like that, which is basically just Onimusha set in like the Tactics Ogre world. It was basically a Tactics Onimusha game. Never played it though, so no interest in playing it. And then yeah, there was the browser game that Ted was talking about, which I looked up for the review, and I don't think I'd ever touch it. Oh no, I'm dead.
Oh,
not-
for frick's sake.
Talisman.
Thank you, Talisman. Unfortunately, Talisman only restores your health. It does not give you a mana restore. So,
But it'll
not out of the
auto
woods just yet.
happen as soon as you die.
yes, it will auto happen as soon as you die. You do not need to manually select. Make sure it works when you die.
The range on that tornado seems actually kind of absurd.
Yeah. Well, another thing that I completely forgot that Genma allowed you to do is you can charge up your special attacks too. At the
Ooh.
cost of more mana, you can give it a bigger oomph. And for the tornado attack, that is a much wider arc, which gets even larger when you level up at max. Because right now the Shippu is only at level 2. And every weapon maxes out at level 3 in this game. And this right here is the Soul Absorber. This is something I kind of skimmed over in like my original playthroughs, but while this thing is out, I think enemies are slowly losing health because at some points they will just disintegrate as if they're dead, and you can just collect their souls.
Oh, it makes it easier to spot the invisible ones though, because they cover up the graphic for.
But at this point, I'm just done because I'm tired. I'm sandwiched here. I'm out of mana, and I want to get the hell out of here. And I can't charge up my attacks fast enough because these guys, the dudes with the shields, are like the second level of the red dudes that were choking a bitch earlier in the playthrough. And I mean, the only difference is that shield, but it also means there's more to chip through before you're able to do some direct damage. Assuming you can't get the Eason set up for it, which I don't think works as well on these guys than it does on the red guys. Because if you're watching the commentary earlier and you're wondering, John, why are you always kicking the red dudes and doing a regular attack afterwards? I'm setting up for an Eason because if you're fast enough, I'm not sure if it's the speed of the input or how fast you react to it, but if you're able to kick the red dudes in the gut and then mash the attack button fast enough, you'll do an Eason counter immediately after. Which is great. You know, you kill those dudes like lickety split. You don't have to deal with their bullshit. But it doesn't always work, and I'm wondering what the reasoning for that was.
These guys just keep sucker punching you in between their own attacks.
They're all over the place. And I love Easoning these dudes, not in the way that I just did like a couple of seconds ago, but more like the, oh shit, he saw me. Because when they're like below half health, they will just start hiding underground and wait for an opportunity to ambush you. However, you can just barely see the tops of their heads underground. And if you're able to get the jump on them, you can stab them on the top of the head. And that counts as an Eason.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's hilarious too. It's like you're poking a boil on the floor, and you get souls for it. It's gross, but it's beneficial.
So
I can imagine.
I know we're at the end of the part. Each weapon only goes up to level 3, and you're pretty late into the game, and you have each weapon at least level 2.5. Do the red souls do anything after you max out all the weapons?
You can spend those red souls to upgrade your herbs into medicines, which are full heals. You can also convert your regular arrows into fire arrows, which do a lot of damage. You can also upgrade your bullets into burst bullets, which are, I think, the strongest item in the game.
Okay, so it's good that they have a use after you level everything up.
Indubitably.
Onimusha has a magnum.
Yeah, a two-handed magnum at that. Oh no, magnums are always two-handed.